إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنار بنور القرآن واتبع السنة المرسل به إلى يوم الدين ثم أما بعد. ثم أما بعد إخوتي الكرام السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I bear witness there is no deity worthy to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I bear witness that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last messenger. No messenger will be after him. Brother and sister, without further ado, last time we talked about Hadith, the great Hadith of Jibril Alaihissalam, which is include all the aspect about Islam. The Prophet ﷺ, like we all know, he was sitting in the gather. Jibril Alaihissalam came to him and he asked him to teach us about what is Islam, what is Iman, and what is Ihsan. Last time we spoke as much as we can, also the time is not helping us, but we speak about whatever we can. And today, inshallah, I want to enlighten a little bit as much as we can about Iman. Brother and sister, without further ado, brother and sister, we all have to know that there is no any work that you can do in this life. There is nothing better than Iman. Whatever you do, whatever action that you do with your organ, or whatever action you do with your wealth, whatever action you do, there is no action better than Iman. If you want to know why, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speak to the people of Mecca in Surah At-Tawbah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked to the people, he told them, أَجَعَلْتُمْ سِقَايَةَ الْحَاجِّ وَإِمَارَةَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ كَمَنْ آمَنَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ لَا يَسْتَوُونَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. So some people was thinking because their lineage, because of whatever Allah give them title, like giving people food at the time of Hajj, or giving people drink at the time of Hajj, they say, some of the Quraysh, they say, whatever Muhammad is calling us, we're not going to believe. So this is actually better than the belief. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rebuked them. Also, brother and sister, in Islam, every action that we do in this life, without any defined inner belief, this action will not gonna help us in the day of judgment. Also, the belief need to be correct. That's why, sometimes you think you have a correct belief, but if you go back, you're gonna see there is some stuff missing. Also, brother and sister, many ulama, and I have a quote that Ibn al-Qayyim say, "Inna al-qalba yasda kama yasda al-nuhas wal-fidda." He say, the heart roast like copper and silver, and nothing will clean that heart without a deep, clean Iman. Brother and sister, for that reason, I did a little bit of copy paste here. So we're going to talk a little bit about Iman today, brother and sister. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if anybody asks you, what is the reason that the pillar of Iman is 6, there is a verse in Surah An-Nisa. If you go back to Nisa 136, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, يا أيها الذين آمنوا آمنوا بالله ورسوله والكتاب الذي نزل على رسوله والكتاب الذي أنزل من قبل ومن يكفر بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر فقد ضل ضلالا مبينا فقد ضل ضلالا بعيدا. Sorry. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, all you who believe in Allah, believe in his messengers, believe in his book, that descended before and the book that descended recently, which is the Quran. He said, whoever did not believe in Allah, that's what he's telling you, the pillar of Iman from the Quran. Whoever did not believe in Allah, did not believe in messengers, did not believe in his book, did not believe in the day of the judgment, and did not, and also the ulama say, the decree is the action that Allah ordered us, is five here, but the action that Allah ordered or to believe, this is a decree. This is mafhumul غير منطوق. But if you go to the verse that because Allah ordered us to believe, that's a decree. So from that we have the six pillar of Iman. Also, if you go back to the Hadith, brother and sister, the Prophet ﷺ say, Iman is to believe in Allah, to believe in His messengers, to believe in angel first, messenger, books, and the last day, and the decree. So, brother and sister, if let's say it's happened to me seriously, this is not a question that I'm. If somebody non-believer came and asked you, brother and sister, you say you believe, okay, you believe in Allah. What does it mean to believe in Allah? So this is a big question. We might think, yes, don't think I'm pushing, very hard, but yes, they believe. To believe in one word is required, but to believe in detail, that's what's gonna help you have the iman rasikh. That's what's gonna help you not to have a shakable iman. So because of that, brother and sister, many ulama, they try to define what is the iman. So, I took the definition of Ibn Uthaymin rahimahullah. He said, Al-Iman huwa al-iqrar al-mustalzim lil-qubul wal-idhan. He said, Iman is an acknowledgement, that require you acceptance and compliance. So, like we say, you have to acknowledge that whatever is required you to believe, you have to acknowledge that a pillar of iman, one thing, and then you have to accept it also, meaning also you have to compliance, so you don't go against what is the iman is teaching us. So brother and sister, the first pillar of iman, we all know, is to believe in Allah. So to believe in Allah is hard itself. Believe in Allah have four pillars. You have to believe that Allah exists. You have to believe in His rububiyyah, the ownership. You have to believe in uluhiyyah. You have to believe He's the only one is worthy to be worshipped. Also, you have to believe in His name and attribute. So, when you go back to believe in the existence of Allah, this is easy, but very few people, from the beginning of Adam till nowadays, only atheists can tell you there is no existence of Allah. And Allah recorded that in Quran. For example, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about what happened with Musa and Fir'aun, he was asking Musa, Wama Rabbul Alameen. He was trying to deny that there is a Lord that owned that world. So, but even if his question is showing that deep in his heart he believed that Allah exists, but he's just trying to deny it. Like the other ayahs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly said, وَجَحَدُوا بِهَا وَاسْتَيْقَنَتْهَا أَنفُسُهُم ظُلْمًا وَعُلُوًّا. They deny my existence, but their soul recognize it. So that's why even somebody will tell you, he will not believe that Allah exists, but even when you speak to him with his, statement, will tell you that he believes, but he just contradicts himself. So, brother and sister, like we said, Iman in one word is really important. Yeah, if I believe in Allah without knowing the detail, but that is gonna be a disturb. It's gonna be it could be a distraught sometime in your life. Something will happen to you, good or bad, or to the point you can be excited until you say, oh, you can feel it. If you really know a little bit, You can feel that your heart is shaking. There is a authentic hadith. Even the Sahaba, sometimes, they came to the Prophet. Long story short, they came to the Prophet. They said, we be feeling sometime in our heart. You ask who created and the Prophet explained to them. He said, sometimes you be sitting, okay, who created the earth? Allah. Who created the heaven? Allah. Who created? Okay, and then is shaitan coming to you? And then say, who created Allah? Who? Nobody have answered. Which is, there is no one who created. He is the creator. So, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, that's the Iman. If you stop here, that means you believe in the existence of Allah. If you go beyond that, that means there is some problem, brother and sister. Also, brother and sister, we have to believe in the ownership of Allah. The ownership of Allah is very tremendous and is very essential to prove that you believe in Allah. So the ownership, you have to know that He's the King, Al-Mulk. We have to know also Tadbir. He's the one who at-tadbir, who is the one who manage everything. Whether it's good happen to us or bad, it's all coming from Allah. You have to acknowledge. Also, you have to know that He's the one. He's the only one created. So they said to believe in the ownership, you have to believe in the Haqq and Mulk and Tadbir. You have to know that Allah alone created without any help of anybody, whomsoever. And then He's the only one who owns. He don't have no partner who to share with anything. He's the one who owns you, own me, own the universe. Also, He's the one who managing. Sometimes also this is if something really bad happen to the universe. Sometimes some people, that's how some people they come disbelieve. So why this happen? Why this? So that's the problem of Iman bi rububiyatillah. So the Quran implement that, that you have to believe in khalaq. Inna rabbakumullahu alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal arda fi sittati ayyam. You have to know that He's the one, only one who created. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in different ayat, lahu ma fi as-samawati wal ardi kullu lahu qanitin. He's the one who owns everything. Also, different ayat, yudabbiru al-amra yufassilu al-ayat. He's the one who managing. Even sometimes the management to us, sometimes it's not what we desire, but He is the only one who doing it. Also, all Muslims, alhamdulillah, we believe there is no one worthy to be worshipped. But, brother and sister, let's be honest with ourselves. The Iman, like we said, sometime I remember here, all the time when they talk about Iman, go back to three things. Itiqad, you have to, in your heart, in your saying, in your action. So don't say something that against what the Iman is teaching you. Don't do anything that is against what Iman is teaching you. Also, don't believe in your heart something that is against what Iman is teaching you. So to believe that it's Allah, the only one who worthy to be worshipped, yes, we all do that. That's alhamdulillah, that's why we are Muslim. But sometimes, in our life, our action will show that it's different. Our saying might be saying, which is very few people can say something that is against of what what is proving that Allah is the only divine, that is the divinity of His worship. He's the only one divine to be worshipped. Also, very few, in the heart it could happen. So this is just enlightenment, brother and sister. We cannot go very deep because the topic is so big. Also, this is the biggest problem among all the Muslims. To believe in the name of Allah and to believe in His attribute is a big problem. And nobody will know that, only a knowledgeable person. Yes, when you hear in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speak about his powerfulness. When subhanahu wa ta'ala, He say that the creation is in my finger. Less. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, he say the heart of the believer is in my finger. So some people, they try to explain it and all that. They go actually with their saying against what Iman is saying. sometimes with their action is showing that. So therefore, brother and sister, we have to believe like the ulama, they say. This is a very powerful statement from Imam Malik. Somebody came to him one time, he was teaching his student. So they say, we all know there is at least seven verses in the Quran talking about Ar-Rahman al-Istawa. Ar-Rahman al-Arsh istawa. Istawa came like 7 places. Istawa mean he, he like istawa, he is, he have his istiwa, like Imam Malik said. So, he came ask Imam Malik, we read Ar-Rahman al-Arsh istawa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a, he's the one who controlling his throne. That's the quick translation. So he said, okay, now how do we, how Allah is the one who, how do I understand that Allah is he sitting on his throne, or is he controlling his throne all the. So Imam Malik say, if you go back, that's what the powerful statement. He say, if you go back, istawa is linguistic Arabic language. Istawa mean, if like I was sitting here, that's istawa. I'm not shakeable. I'm firm on my, istawa mean he's firm on his arch. So the meaning of istawa, everybody know. It doesn't mean anybody know who the language of Arabic, he know, but that's mean istawa, you sit down without shaking. Okay. How is Allah is istawa on his arch? That you're not required to know that. That's what he told them. Al istiwa ma'lum wal kayf anhu majhul wa su'al anhu bid'ah. So therefore, asking about it also is innovation. The companion, these verses was revealed, the hundred of thousand of them believer. Nobody ever came and asked the Prophet, how is Allah, is sitting firm on his throne. So you just have to believe it. Long story short, nobody know, uh, how Allah is, So if you don't know how something is, you cannot describe it. So nobody know, so there is no place to think or describe. So therefore, the ulama, they have a strong statement always. They say you have to believe min غير تحريف ولا تعطيل ولا تكييف ولا تمثيل. They say you have to believe without twisting. Twisting mean, when I say Ar-Rahman is Al-Arsh istawa, twisting. Some ulama, they come say istawla. They add, like the Bani Israel, they call him waqulu hitta. They say hinta. They twist the word to make them to the point they think they understood it. So we don't have no point, no place to play with the word of Allah. He said istawa, you have to believe he's istawa. And then don't try to give it different meaning than it is. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, I have hands, say he have hands that is, is appropriate to himself, to his being, without saying, oh, some people tell, oh, the hands meaning the power. The hand, no, don't try to give it different meaning. He say he have his, the heart of the believer between his finger. Not like my finger, brother and sister. When I say the finger of the lion, the finger of me, the finger of maybe, any being, is different. So, you don't know Allah. Nobody ever even seen Allah. So there is no room for us to come try to describe it. So therefore, the ulama, they say, you're not allowed to twist, add a different, something to give it different meaning. You're not also allowed to give it a different meaning. Also, you're not allowed to impersonate. You're not allowed to impersonate. Say, it's like this. No. So therefore, when you look to the believe in Asma Allah wa Sifati, there are some people that really exaggerate it. There are some people also they dribble. But for us, a believer, you have to be in the middle. Yeah. Some people, they try to describe Allah even as a being like me and you. Yeah. They try to describe like the way Allah created me. Some hadith came, it's a authentic hadith. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala create human being like his image. Yes, but nobody know the image of Allah. Don't try to say, oh, he's just like me and you. So some people, they are that the ulama, ulama al-aqidah, they call them, mughalun, exaggerator. They are mushabbiha. You're not allowed to say he is like this, because nobody know. Also, you're not allowed to dribble by twisting, by distorting, by also disabling. Sometimes you come to a word that you don't understand, you try to disable that word. You're not allowed to. So, many people try, they try to distort the word of Allah when they don't understand. It's because they say, if you say that he, for example, he have hands, that means he is asymptomatic. He have a composure, and he also he's a species. You know, he- you know. So therefore, brother and sister, this is a topic that actually is very hard topic. But like I said, anytime you read in the Quran, on authentic hadith, Allah say, this is my name. Like, he's Ar-Rahman, he's Al-Malik, Al-Quddus, As-Salam. You have to just know that the real meaning of that, and then don't try to add or the reduce. Also, when he give himself an attribute, he said, for example, he get anger when you do this. His anger, that is appropriate to him. It's not like your anger or my anger. But don't say, anger is no, he's gonna put, some people come, anger mean he put you in Jahannam. No, he get anger, an anger that is appropriate to him. Brother and sister, this is in brief. Believe in Allah require you to believe that He exists. Believe in Allah require you that you have to believe in His divinity of His ownership. He's the only one that created. He's the only one who owns. He's the only one who managing. Believe in Allah require us, brother and sister, to believe that there is no one worthy to be worshipped except Him. Believe in Allah require us to believe in His name, in His attribute, without dribbling or without exaggerating. Be in the middle. Like Allah say, I'm this, He is this. That's it. Be quick, because nobody know Allah. So, brother and sister, when you go back to the Hadith, Jibril, he said, the Iman is to believe in Allah. Say Allah, even the verse, all the time when he say believe in Allah, most of the time he angel, or he bring the day of judgment. وَمَنْ لَمْ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ آمِنُوا بِاللَّهِ وَمَلَائِكَتِهِ وَكُتُبِهِ وَرُسُلِهِ. All the time is coming. So they say, because these two, nobody, we're sitting here, we're sitting with the angel, but there is no one who dare to tell you this is the angel, how it look like. But you have to believe that there is angel, and the angel is a creation of Allah, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created animal, He created human being, He created the universe, He created also a being that is angel. Also, this angel, like many verses can tell us, they are not hollow like me and you. You can put something, get inside, they don't have no jaw. They are not hollow. So they don't get hungry, they don't get tired, they don't get, and we are not allowed also to say like they are robots, or some people, just know. They, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them only like the description that we got from the authentic Sunnah, or from the verses of Quran. That's how we describe them. They are created from light. So believe in the angel require you two big things. You have to believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have angel, and many of those angels, they have name, like Jibril, Mikael, Israfil, Munkar, Nakir, Ridwan, Malik, all this, right? So you have to believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created angel. So, and those angels, they have name. So that's one. Also, you have to believe in the task of the angel. So all the angels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, they all, they all they have tasks. Like we all have to believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Jibril, he named him Jibril, and he gave him task to take the revelation from Allah to the human being, and which is the prophet and messenger. Also, we have to believe, for example, Mikael, he's the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the quantity of rain throughout the year. Yearly, he gave him. That's how much you're going to rain this in this area, that how much. That's his work. Also, for example, Malakul Maut, he's the one who takes the soul. قُلْ يَتَوَفَّاكُمْ مَلَكُ الْمَوْتِ الَّذِي وُكِّلَ بِكُمْ. Also, for example, Ridwan, he's the one who keep the keeper of Jannah. Also, for example, they are like me and you sitting here, we have what they call Al-Kataba, Raqib and Atid. The Raqib, he's on the right and Atid on the left. Also, you have to believe there is Malaika. May Allah give us all Jannah. When we get to Jannah, there is Malaika. Just their only task is to say salam to the people of Jannah. Wal malaikatu yadkhuluna alayhim min kulli bab, salamun alaykum bima sabartum. This also, for example, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have the hafaza. He said there is malaika that keep you when you are, when you sleep or you are working like right now. There are malaika, we are with them 24 hours. There are malaika that, malaikatun bil-layl or malaikatun bin-nahar. There are malaika that just came at daytime, and then as soon as night hit, they go. And then there are malaika that were with us. So, long story short, believing in malaika require you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created angel, and the angel mean people that, the creation that doesn't have no halo, and they are created by light. We don't know how they look like. Nobody will ever see the malaika, only on his last day. Anybody on this dunya, you will see the malaika. At the last time when you see them, that's it. There is no more talking. That's a coma until may Allah give us, sabat when you see them. Brother and sister, let's go back to the second point, third point. And then the Prophet ﷺ tell Jibril, the Iman is to believe in the book. Believe in the book, brother and sister, require you to believe that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down books to his messengers. More authentically, many people say it's Idris, the first messenger. Most authentically, you have to believe, when you go to the verses of Quran, is the first messenger, and it's Nuh, and the last one, we're gonna speak more of that when you get to the messenger. So you have to believe, وَإِن مِّن أُمَّةٍ إِلَّا خَلَا فِيهَا نَذِيرٌ. There is no nation except Allah send them somebody to warn them. When you do this, your destination is this. When you do that, the destination is that. May Allah give us the good destination. Amen. So, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Surah Al-Baqarah, he said the people used to be one nation. كَانَ النَّاسُ أُمَّةً وَاحِدًا. But, they say it's from the Nuh, the Mufassirin, they say, before Adam, they were just in one area at the time of Adam until Nuh came up. So they say it's about 1400 years, all this. That's not our problem. The problem, you have to believe that Allah sent the book on each and every corner in this world, and he chooses his angel, his messenger to receive those. So believing the books require you, you have to believe that Allah sent down books. You have to believe the content of the book. Also, you have to, believe in the name of the books. Also, you have to believe in the rule of the book. So you have to believe that Allah sent down the book. Also, you have to believe in the names and the revelation that inside it, and then the relation between the book and the sender. Like you say, Quran is for Muhammad, Zabur, is Dawood, Taurat is for Musa, Injil for Isa. That's how. So you have to believe in general Allah sent down book to the people, right? Every people is sent down. Also, every book is related to a specific man, which is a messenger or a prophet. So we have to believe, more specifically. At least you have to believe in those. Quran, Taurat, Injil, Zabur, Suhuf Musa, or Suhuf Ibrahim. So at least the ulama say those, you have to. But the problem is, like, let's say I say I believe in the Injil. Is it the Injil that many people make mistake? Is it the Injil that nowadays? No. You have to believe in the name of the Injil, or whatever in authentic way. For example, in Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَكَتَبْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ فِيهَا أَنَّ النَّفْسَ بِالنَّفْسِ وَالْعَيْنَ بِالْعَيْنِ وَالْأُذْنَ بِالْإِذْنِ وَالسِّنَّ بِالسِّنِّ وَالْجُرُوحَ قِصَاص, to the end of the ayah. This is a verse from the Torah. You have to believe this is a verse from the Torah. But whatever Torah is nowadays is faking, because the Quran prove it that they're faking it. The Quran prove it in different way, that يحرفون الكلمة عن مواضعه. They say they twist it and they change a lot of stuff. The name you have to believe, but if somebody give you a Bible now, no, that's not the Torah that I believe. So, brother and sister, without going too deep, I will stop here and continue after that. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. توبوا إلى الله إنه هو التواب الرحيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وآله وصحبه وسلم وبعد. Brother and sister, the fourth pillar of Iman is to believe in messengers. So messengers is related to books, like we said. To believe in messenger, you have to know that they are creation of Allah, like me and you. قالت رسل ما في قالت رسل ما في الله شك فاطر السماوات والأرض وقالت رسلهم إن نحن إلا بشر. That's what I want to say. قالت رسلهم, when the messenger come, many people, they say, oh, they challenge the messenger. Why not Allah send an angel? Why not Allah send different kind? No, Allah send people from you, a person like you and me, and me. This is the best people. There is a lot of evidence. He say from the creation. وَإِذَا خَذَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ. When Allah created the human being, He showed the people, the offspring. He showed them, this is your offspring. And then among those offspring, there are some people that really delight. They are very nice. So Adam was asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whose are these people? He say, this is the best people that I chooses to, to show, to bring down, whatever I want my creation to do. So this, we have to believe that the messenger, they are people like you. يأكلون الطعام, they eat and they sleep. This is what makes some people, they couldn't believe. They thought some messenger, because they have so many mu'jizat, they actually call them God. For example, you guys all know some messenger like Isa. Some people, because of the powerfulness Allah give it to them, the mu'jizat, they tend to know they are human being like you. They have same essence like me and you, but they are better than me and you, and nobody will be like them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created them, and He sent down to each nation. So, when you go back to the Quran, we have to believe in the prophet and messenger, yes. But what is prophet? What is messenger? Yes, the ulama, they have so many view, so many view. Like there is one famous book, Imam al-Yahsubi. He was talk a little bit, a lot of about messengers. But honestly, the messenger, the prophet first, you have to believe. The prophet is the one Allah give him a revelation, but He did not ask him to, to pass down that revelation. That's one view, which is I go with it. Also, they say the prophet is the one who came down with revelation, but that revelation is for a previous nation. Like if you see, you go back to the history of prophet and messenger between Musa and Nabi Isa Alaihissalam, there is a lot of prophet like Armiya, like Hizqeel, like Yusha ibn Nun. These are prophets, but their revelation is just the Torah itself. The revelation is just a Torah itself. Also, Harun, he was with Musa. He is not allowed to say about Allah also, or make any statement with outside of the Torah. So that's why in a fake hadith, which is not authentic, some ulama say ulama Bani Israel, ulama ummati ka anbiya Bani Israel, which is not a real hadith, but the meaning is right. You know, you can say why not, because the last messenger between him and the day of judgment is so long. No, Allah say, from the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he will make, people that know his whatever he teach, and then Allah will appoint his every single corner. Alhamdulillah, we have anywhere you go, you can find, for example, an Imam, preaching people, stuff like that. In the time of before the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, those are used to be prophets, but this time no. We just, if you want to be having the value of the prophet, you follow the prophet. So, but nobody will be the prophet after him. So, like we say, the first definition of prophet, somebody that Allah gave him message, but he did not tell him to reveal. They give him a biggest example like Adam. Adam, he was not like any other prophet. That's what when they tell you the first prophet is Nuh, you say, how long all this? No, Adam, he was himself a model for his children, whoever one of him, because he spoke to Allah, and he all the practice he was doing, that's what required for his children to do. So they were one nation, like we say, kana nas ummatan wahida fabatha Allah nabiyina mubashirin wa munzirin. They say it's from Nuh Alaihissalam. So after the tufan. So the messengers is more wide than a prophet. The messenger is the one who have the message, and he is required to reveal it to the people. So with going back to the sources, there is a lot of sources, but it's not authentic, brother and sister. Some people, they say is the number of those messengers and prophets is 1420, like 1420, but we don't have no proof of that. In the Quran, there are 25 prophet and messenger. Everybody, when they say Musa, prophet and messenger. When they say Isa, prophet and messenger. Zulkif, prophet and messenger. That's exclude Adam. In the Quran, is 25 of them. We are required to know them, a little bit their history. That's to strengthen your Iman. You need to know Adam. Who is Adam? You can sit down in 2-3 minutes to speak about Adam. Who is Nuh? Who is Idris? So you need to know that. That's what is required for your Iman in the Prophet, brother and sister. And the last messenger, like we all know, is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they say is 1420 total Anbiya and Mursalin, and 325 Mursalin. But it's the Hadith, but those Hadith, the lineage of those Hadith, the knowledgeable people of Hadith, they say it's not authentic. So what is required for us to believe in prophet is to believe in those 25. You have to believe they are prophet and messenger. Also, you have to believe that outside of those, there are many. Minhum man qasasna alayka wa minhum man lam naqsus alayk. Even the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, told them about some of them, and some of them he did not even tell them. That's what the Quran said. So you have to believe that there is a prophet. They are the better people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent down for them, and there among those 25 in Quran, there are what people that we call ulul azm min ar-rusul. Muhammad Alaihissalam, Ibrahim, Nuh, Musa, and Isa. These are the best prophet and messenger. And many people try to show us or make us understand why they were better. Is because of their struggle in revealing the revelation. So the fourth, also the fifth pillar of Iman, brother and sister, is to believe in the last day. Yes, many people ask when it's gonna be last day. Even in the time of the Prophet, يسألونك عن الساعة. They keep asking, oh, and brother and sister, in one word, I write at least 3 pages here about Day of Judgment, but we cannot gonna go through that. In one word, brother and sister, know that the Day of Judgment is not the problem. It's when you're gonna leave. That's the problem. Many ulama, they speak about death. They say, if you are a true believer, you need to, one day just sit down. Let's say I was in my bed, I die, and then they wash me. They brought me to Masjid al-Haq to wash me. They sent me to, Crown Hill, and then I faced the Malaika. They say, it's not a joke. You cannot go more than that. You cannot go more than that, because what is our destination after death? That's what is required us to believe in the day, Yawm al-Akhir. Because many hadiths, the Prophet ﷺ, if you believe in Allah in the Day of Judgment, don't harm your neighbor. All the Iman, فَمَنْ يُؤْمِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. They say this is a cream crop of the pillar of Iman of 6. If I believe in Allah, I will be straight. If I believe in the Day of Judgment, I will wash my action. So to believe in the Day of Judgment, is to wash your action. But the pillar of it, you have to believe it will happen. When? That's not our problem. Our problem is, is our time. That's our problem. How we gonna be ready with that? Also, whatever mentioned about the Day of Judgment, min al-ba'th wal-hashr, all this, you have to believe that we're going to be resurrected. You have to believe that we're going to be gathered. You have to believe that every single one of us will face Allah and will bring his a report, whatever you do. So you have to believe in that. That part of the belief of the Day of Judgment. And it starts from the grave. Like we say, we can sit down, imagine, oh, I'm dead. But after the grave is hard. Even the most knowledgeable person is hard. There is a Ibn al-Qasim, this is the one who, every time I try to think about that, he wrote a book, they call it Ahwal Yawm al-Qiyamah. This is a hadith about what happened in the Day of Judgment. He wrote it by himself, his book. He was teaching his people, they say the first chapter, he was sitting teaching. When the mention whatever happened, he's a student of Imam Malik. He's when he was sitting, they were reading that book to him. He just, they say that's the reason for his death. Brothers and sisters, it's really important for us to remember our last day. The last day is not the Day of Judgment. It's me and you. And somebody came and asked the Prophet ﷺ, he said, when is going to be the Day of Judgment? And then later on, the Prophet asked him, what did you prepare for it? So what is you prepare for it is more important than anything, Brother and sister, and the last one, we all know, is to believe in the decree. And brother and sister, this is really difficult. To believe in decree is really difficult. We might say we believe in it, but sometimes our saying is gonna contradict it. Our even our actions sometimes contradict it. So brother and sister, it's really important to believe and the important element of Iman, like you said, is to believe in Allah and the Day of Judgment. If you believe, you have those two elements very tough and very strong, and the decree, sorry. So if you have these two, inshallah, the rest will come, instantly. So they say there is four things, you have to include. You have to know that the decree, Allah knows everything, all things. Many ahadith show that the first thing that Allah ever created is the pen. We don't know that pen, but He created a pen. It's not like your pen and my pen. And He asked you to write whatever happened from day one to the last day. So also you have to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. eh? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's the one who do everything. You know. Also, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he's mm. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we say you have to know that Allah knows everything. So he's aware of everything. That's believe in the decree. He wrote everything too. So to match whatever you have. Let's say some people will come the day of judgment, try to challenge what they did. They have every single copy is in Lawhil Mahfuz. You know. Also, you have to believe that whatever Allah don't want, it will never happen. So, brother and sister, believing in the day of judgment is to know that Allah know everything. To believe in decree, sorry, to know that Allah know everything. He wrote everything. It's written. Also, He decrees. Some decrees, you know, is the whole life. Like, let's say, for example, where somebody, his creation finishes, they send an angel to go write, whatever happened to him, Shaqi and Sa'id, how long he's gonna live, all this. So, but there is some Mashiach is yearly, there is some Mashiach weekly, all this. So you have to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also created, So they have said, believe in the decree is to know that Allah knows al-ilm, to believe that Allah He wrote everything that will happen. Also, at the same time, He is the one who allows it. He's the one who allows it. Somebody do good or bad, He's the one who allows it. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. Also, He created that. Don't Some people, they believe in all of that, but they say you are the one created your action. No, your action is created by Allah. So like we say, like Iman, Asma wa Sifat, there are people exaggerating, there are people, they are really neglecting. So you have to be in the middle. You have to be in the middle. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ teaches in different hadith. When it comes to believe in decree, honestly, from the time of Sahaba until nowadays, some scholars, they say it's only about 4 to 5 books that is written. It's something hard. It's really hard. That's what we say. You can see, something bad happen. I say, why is this happening? And many ulama, they say, if you want to know about, about the deepness of decree, read Suratul Kahf. Read Suratul Kahf. What happened with Musa Alaihissalam and Khadir? We all know, he rode a boat, right? And then he made it uncomfortable. He create a hole on it, and then he found some boy, he killed him. And then he went to a village that they disrespect them. They did not even provide them. They were guests. They did not even give them the right of the guest. But he started rebuilding something. So it's strange. Like, the decree is strange. The decree is strange. They say like that. Some ulama say al-qadar sirrullah fi khalqi. So if you go back to that surah, he killed that boy because Allah know that he's gonna be a non-believer. He's gonna make their parent non-believer. So if you are, instead of making them 3 disbeliever, better to have at least 2 of them, right? Also, these people who give them a boat, who give them a ride, if their boat was perfect, that king would just come and grab it. So Khadir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give him that knowledge. And like we said, maybe one day we can come talk about Musa and Khadir. Many people think Khadir is not a prophet. He's a prophet. Khadir is a prophet, If you go back to deeply, they say the first person who ever say he's a wali is Imam al-Qushayri, 300 years after the prophet. And many people just believe in nowadays he's not a prophet. Khadir was the prophet, but he's just a prophet like Nuh, like Yusha, like Hizqil, all this after Musa. But his revelation that Allah gave him, he was not allowed to share with people. So brother and sister, believing the decree is really hard, but nobody will know that only if you go deep, if you go deep. But it's required for you to know that Allah know everything what's going to happen. It's required for you to know that Allah actually have a record. There is a record for whatever happening, good or bad. We contest or we like or dislike, Allah know the hikmah. The qadar is a hikmah between, it's a wisdom between Allah and His creation. Also, you have to know that whatever good or bad happen, Allah allows it first. If He did not allow, mashallah kana wa ma lam yasha Allah yakun. If Allah did not allow something, it will never happen. Also, you have to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created that thing. He created that. Even like your prayer right now is part of the creation of Allah, but Allah allows you to pray it. Yeah. So like I said, Iman bil Qadar is really tough, but only when you start digging into it, it's hard. But in one word, you have to know that there is wisdom behind everything, even good or bad. Brothers and sisters, this is what we try to speak about. The Hadith of Jibril. This Hadith is tremendous. May Allah make us among those who يستمعون القول ويتبعون أحسنه. الحمد اللهم لك الحمد قبل كل شيء ولك الحمد على كل شيء لك الحمد حتى ترضى ولك الحمد إذا رضيت ولك الحمد بعد الرضا أنت للحمد أهل تبارك ربنا وتعالى. May Allah forgive us. May Allah accept all our good deeds. أقول قول هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. So